So I know that you are in Lebanon in the middle of a crisis, and you just told me you've got camping lanterns so that we can
Oh
see.
yeah, I have no electricity right now, so I have one camping lantern and then I have one like battery operated ring light that you like plug into a battery pack. So that's why it looks I actually had somebody ask me and I have like an extra battery for my router. I had somebody ask me in a comment on a YouTube video recently. They're like, what do you how do you have power?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't." It just looks like I do. No, Lebanon is such a horrible situation here right now. I mean, no, I don't know anybody with 24-hour electricity. Like even rich people don't have 24-hour electricity because you can't find fuel for the generator. The state electricity grid has gone almost entirely offline. I mean, I think that there was like 1 hour of state electricity yesterday. I haven't had any state electricity today. And even for those of us with lucky enough to have like private building generators, we can't find fuel to keep them going for longer than just a portion of the day. So, yeah, Lebanon is being squeezed right now. Lebanese elites are like dragging their feet and doing nothing about it. And it's really bizarre because it's like this could be so easily fixed. Lebanon just needs oil from somewhere. We're in a region full of countries that could offer oil and they haven't. Iraq has, but the government's dragging its feet. Iran and also Iraqi oil. There is an Iraqi oil deal, but it's not the kind of oil Lebanon needs. So it has to go through a refinement process, which is why the government's dragging its feet because there's like a non-functioning government in Lebanon that's unable to hand it like what they call tenders to hand out the tenders for that. So the contractual stuff for the refinement process is taking so long while Iranian oil is already refined how Lebanon needs it and could be used right now if we had it, but the Lebanese government was told by the Americans, if you accept even 1 liter of Iranian fuel, we will sanction your last. Lebanon has one financial institution that's still that still allows it to carry out financial transactions internationally. That's a part of the SWIFT banking system. I don't know if anybody knows what that means, but basically that allows it to like carry out international financial interactions and do business internationally, right? It's one lifeline is this one last financial institution that's connected to Western financial institutions. And the US threatened to shut that down if Lebanon accepts even 1 liter of Iranian fuel. So Lebanon as a government can't. Hezbollah, it's gotten so out of hand, the fuel crisis. I mean, there's hospitals that are like, like hospitals can't go an hour without electricity. They have people on machines that need it. And they are on backup, they are on generators and backup generators all day, but they can't find fuel. So Lebanon is to that point where hospitals are like saying people are going to die because their ventilators will shut down if we don't have electricity. We can't find fuel. Furthermore, our doctors and nurses can't find fuel to put in their cars to get to work. Or they're waiting in lines for 6 hours and can't get to work. So like this is becoming a humongous crisis that's just snowballing. Water pumping stations need fuel to function. They're out. Their generators don't have fuel. There's no state electricity. Like Lebanon's about to face a huge water shortage that's totally man-made. But we can't accept Iranian oil. I mean, it's completely absurd.
So how do you work? How does anybody do anything
They
on
don't. I figured out ways to get around things for now. Like, we have scheduled cuts in my building throughout the day. So I schedule interviews. Right now, I mean, I can do this because we're going to go for about an hour. So I know that
Yeah.
my computer can last and I have a battery backup that keeps my router going. So the router doesn't shut down. And then, I have like a webcam that's very light sensitive. So I don't need that much light. So like I said, like I have these 2 battery operated lights that are enough. So that's how I'm doing my job right now. I mean, sometimes a lot of the day I still do have electricity. I'm really lucky. I don't know how long that's going to last. So I can use like my nicer equipment for my interviews that I do for my program dispatches. So far it's still working. I don't know how much longer it's going to work though. Like there may come a point where I just can't work from here anymore and I'll have to leave. And I mean, that's what's happening for a lot of people. And for those who get stuck staying, I mean, they're spending the average person in Lebanon right now is spending the vast majority of their day with zero electricity and scorching heat. I mean, people are not sleeping. You walk in the streets here and people just look miserable and tired. And it's like there's like a social explosion just boiling, like right underneath the surface. And if somebody lights their, and I mean, not in a good way, not like, oh, revolutionary explosion. I mean, like violent anger towards each other because you're frustrated and tired and hot and hungry and don't have water. Like that's where Lebanon is headed. And the international community is just like sitting on its hands, and the Lebanese government's corrupt and to blame. Lebanon doesn't have a government, and the people who are obstructing a government formation are the West's allies. So it's just like I don't know like what it's a really messed up situation. It doesn't have to be this way. I'm not saying that the Lebanese elite are blameless. They are absolutely to blame, but many of them are puppets of the West. And as far as I've seen, these Western countries have done nothing to tell their puppets and clients in this country to stop standing in the way. They're just like, whatever. They're happy to
Yeah.
let Lebanon sink.